Campfire Tales, Lore of the Olympic National Forest by R.S. Hughes. The Curse of the Enchanted Pinecone. Deep within the dense, fog-laden woods of the Olympic National Forest, an unsettling transformation was about to begin. It all started with a single pine cone, a seemingly innocuous remnant of the infamous Aokigahara forest in Japan, also known as the Suicide Forest. During one routine inspection at Port Angeles, the pine cone, filled with ominous seeds, tumbled from a cargo container and landed in the bed of a hunter's pickup truck, unnoticed. The hunter, unaware of his sinister cargo, drove deep into the forest to set up camp for the night. As he unloaded his gear, the pine cone fell to the forest floor, rolling into the underbrush. The hunter's dog, curious, picked it up and carried it further into the dense woods, eventually dropping it near a cluster of ancient trees. The seeds from the pine cone took root, and an eerie blight began to spread. The trees, once lush and vibrant, now seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, their twisted branches whispering secrets of despair. A few years later, the forest was transformed. Hikers and campers who ventured into the area started to experience vivid hallucinations, overwhelming fear, and a crushing sense of hopelessness. The longer you stayed, the stronger it felt. One fateful afternoon, a group of friends decided to brave the forest, lured by the thrill of an adventure. Among them were Jenna, Chris, and Alex, all seasoned hikers with a passion for exploration. "All right, who's ready for the ultimate adventure?" Chris grinned as he adjusted his backpack. Jenna rolled her eyes but smiled. "You always say that, Chris. How about we avoid getting lost this time?" Alex laughed. "Yeah, remember last time we ended up following that shortcut you suggested?" Chris waved them off playfully. "Details. We still had fun, right? This time, it'll be different." As they started out on their journey, the further they went into the woods, they noticed no birds or the sounds of animals, just an eerie wind blowing through the trees. Hours passed as they made their way deeper into the woods. A thick fog enveloped them, and the air grew heavy and cold with an unsettling presence. Jenna shivered. "Guys, do you feel that? Something's not right." Chris scoffed, trying to mask his own unease. "It's just the fog, Jenna. Let's keep going." But Alex, the most sensitive of the group, couldn't shake the growing sense of dread. "I don't like this. We should turn back." Chris reassured everyone. "It's fine. It'll clear up soon. You know how Washington weather is. Let's keep going." Ignoring their instincts, they pressed on, and it got later. The forest seemed to close in around them. The fog thickened, and the whispers of the trees grew louder, more insistent. Shadows danced at the edge of their vision, and the ground seemed to shift beneath their feet. Suddenly, a high-pitched screeching sound pierced the group, but it affected Jenna the most. Like a bolt of lightning, with a chorus of 1,000 demons screaming in her mind, Jenna cried out, clutching her head, I can't take it! They're in my mind!" Her eyes glazed over with terror. She tore off her backpack and she darted off into the thicket of the woods. Chris and Alex scrambled after her, but the forest twisted and turned, leading them astray. Panic set in as they realized they were hopelessly lost. Jenna stumbled through the underbrush, her mind reeling with whispers of the forest. She fell to her knees, clutching her head as a sinister voice seethed through her thoughts. It promised release and demanded surrender, but deep within, a flicker of defiance fought to stay alight. Amidst the madness, an apparition appeared, a shadow of a woman draped in sorrow. Her eyes, dark and hollow, met Jenna's with a silent plea of salvation. It whispered, "Itami ga kieru, tamashi o taberu." Jenna didn't know what she said, but somehow she understood. Jenna pulled out her pocket knife, looked down at both her hands, clutching the knife in her right hand, with her left wrist exposed. Chris and Alex continued their desperate search for Jenna, their fear turning to frustration. The forest seemed to feed on their desperation, whispering twisted thoughts into their minds. Tensions escalated, and as the relentless whispers continued, they turned on each other. Chris, driven by paranoia, accused Alex of leading them astray. "This is your fault, Alex. You brought us here, and now we're going to die." Alex, consumed by his own hallucinations, snapped back. "You're the one who wanted to keep going. We should have turned back." The argument quickly escalated into a physical altercation. In a fit of rage, Chris grabbed a rock and struck Alex, the blow sending him sprawling to the ground. Alex's blood oozing from his head seeped into the forest floor, and as the life drained from his body, the ground beneath him began to shift and slither. The forest, sensing the fresh blood, came alive with a sinister hunger. Roots and tendrils emerged from the ground, wrapping around Alex's body and pulling him into the earth. Chris watched in horror as the forest devoured his friend, the roots burrowing into Alex's flesh, drinking in his remaining life force. Paralyzed with fear, Alex tried to back away, but the forest wasn't done with him. The whispers screamed louder, more insistent, driving him to the brink of madness. He stumbled, falling to his knees as the roots turned their attention to him. They snaked around his legs, pulling him towards the ground. He screamed, but his cries were swallowed by the forest. As the roots tightened their grip, Chris felt his strength fading away. The forest seemed to feed on his terror, growing stronger with each passing moment. The roots pierced his skin, drawing out his life. And as he was pulled into the earth, he realized the terrible truth. The forest consumes the living, using their bodies to sustain its malevolent power. Chris screamed as he was pulled under. Days later, search parties discovered remnants of a struggle and leftover clothing debris, but their friends were never seen again. Disappearances continue to this day, warning all who dare to enter the Olympic National Forest to stay away. For those who heed the warning, it was a tale of caution. But for those who ignored it, the forest held an unforgiving truth. The only way to survive was to never venture in.